Hi guys, just giving you quick feedback. A couple of students asked me a couple of questions. I'll just make video out of it. Okay. The first one is 3K, question 17. Let's read the question together. Write down 4. So I'll only cover just one question here. Graphs. They actually said draw graph, but similar to those in the diagram, which means probably they don't give us whole information. Okay, so in this case, let's go and do which one I did it, 0 and 1. I did A. Okay, let's do the A first. A, maybe just do one thing. I should be okay. Okay, go A and check. This is A. Yeah, and I have all I have information is x-intercepts, isn't it? X-intercept when y equals 0, we know x-intercept is 0 and 10 when y equals 0. That's why it's intercept anyway. Yep. Out of it, this is type second type there. Oh, intercept when we know this. Yeah. So use that formula. Y equals, we don't know what is coefficient, so write down A, but we know the root is x minus 0, x minus 10. That's all you need to do. Cool? Yeah. And A, x minus 0, which is x minus 10. Ax, x minus 10, ax squared, we open that up, minus 10ax. That's what I have here. Okay, so y equals this. And then, yeah, all we need to know it is what is A, isn't it? Yeah. Usually, how do you do that? They actually give us another point, isn't it? Now they will tell us any points in this line, usually given, and then all I need to do, x and y, I plugged in x, y, then I can get A. However, in this case, do we have information? No. So we need to go and guess it. For example, let's say just anything here. Yeah. So x is around 5. X is 5. Y is, well, I didn't really draw well, and I don't have book at the moment here. Let's say like just 3. 5 and 3. Sounds good? So all I need to do, plug 5, plug 3, and I will get A. And then I plug that into the A, then I will get y equals something x squared minus something x, isn't it? And that will be similar to the diagram A. Sounds good? Yeah. I mean, it can be all different answers. Depends on which number you picked it. But that will be similar to what you that original graph. Okay. But usual question, you will have 1 point. I hope that explained the question okay. Yeah. Next one is here. Let's look at that. 3H question 4. There are more questions there, but I will cover one question with you. That sounds okay? Yeah. Quadratic formula to find. You have to follow the steps. Okay? You have to follow the steps. In this case, they ask you quadratic formula to. So we have to use quadratic formula. Yeah. To find what? X-intercepts. For example, in this case, y equals x squared plus 5x minus 1. That's the first question. I think it's number one question. Yeah. Can we factorize it? To get x-intercept, I need to factorize it. Yeah. Well, first, do we have solutions here? How many solutions exist? How do we know? Getting determinant. B squared minus 4ac. A equals 1. B equals 5. C equals minus 1. B squared 5 squared minus 4ac. 25 plus 4, 29. 29 is bigger than 0, isn't it? So, 2 solutions. So I know, I mean, you don't have to show, okay? You don't have to show, but I know there's 2 solutions exist, okay? And therefore, we look at it and try to factorize it. In this case, it's hard to factorize it, isn't it? Hard to factorize it. So what are you going to do? When you're not able to factorize it? Yes, that's it. Quadratic formula. Well done. Yeah. Written down that minus b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. We already get b squared minus 4ac, which is 29. Therefore, minus b minus 5 plus minus root 29 over 2a, 2 times a. You can do it at once really quickly. Plus minus 29 over 2. So we get that, isn't it? Yep. So we have 2 solutions here. Can we go further? No, we can't do that. So we'll leave it there and separate it. So answer going to be minus 5 plus 29 over 2 and minus 5 minus 29. So we got 2 x-intercept. That's going to be one x-intercept, another x-intercept. So let's draw that. Yeah. I don't know, but since there's root 29, it's a bit hard to see where they belong to. Okay. Well, I can see 5 times 5 is negative and it's positive. See, this is which one is bigger? 5 times 5 is 25. It's minus root 25, isn't it? So obviously that's going to be a positive number. Otherwise, minus 5 plus root 29. And then divide by 2 is roughly 0.19. Good? I'll go here, minus 5 minus root 29 divided by 2 minus roughly minus 5.19 as well. So this is rough drawing. 1 point is 0.19, so that's not the exact number, so I will use this minus 5 plus root 29 over 2. That's x-axis and 0, isn't it? That's the point. This one is around a bit more than minus. Okay, so that one minus 5 minus 29 over 2. You guys happy with that? Yep. Now we have 2 x-intercepts. And this one, y equals x squared plus 5x minus 1 will look like this. Good job, yeah. So I know this one, if I draw it, will be something like that, isn't it? Yeah. And then let's go. So quadratic formula, I use that to find x-axis intercept. Done it. And then, I didn't really write down all the question. Then they ask you actually getting axis of symmetry. Getting axis of symmetry and turning points. That's what they ask. How do we get axis of symmetry and turning point? Well, same thing. When you get the turning point, we know axis of symmetry, isn't it? Turning point is going to be x and y something. And that x is going to be axis of symmetry. We know that. So let's go back. Basically, all I need to get is turning point. How do we get turning point? Using turning point formula. But in this case, sounds like I have to use this x-intercept. Okay, I think that there was a wording. So let's use that. Going back to your page, hold on. Oh, here. Yeah, page 62. Page 62, I mentioned about this. Quadratic function has two x-intercept. Okay, in this case, that's how they get axis of symmetry. Do you remember that? Another thing we can do, you look at that. Obviously, this is somewhere in the middle, isn't it? So all I need to do, according to that, the same thing, yeah. All I need to do, I add these two numbers, just getting average, minus 5 minus 29 over 2, plus minus 5 plus 29, 2. And then divide by 2. That will give me that x value here. So I'll do that. Minus 5, minus 5, minus 10, cancel that out, over 2, and then divide by 2. So what is minus 10 divided by 2? Minus 5 over 2. So I know this value is minus 5 over 2. Okay? So in this case, axis of symmetry gonna be minus 5, x equals minus 5 over 2. Okay? And how can I get turning point? All I need to get is y value. Since we get the x value, we need to get the y value. How do we get that? We can plug that number into equation, isn't it? Y equals minus 5 over 2 square plus 5 minus 5 over 2 minus 1. When you solve it, we will get y value. That sounds okay? Yeah, so that's a slightly different way to approach compared to normal question. Maybe that's why you struggle, yeah. But we already covered that part. So hopefully that makes sense for you. And then you can continue other questions. Okay, so I will summarize that quickly. Since they specify you have to use quadratic formula, well, probably the best way to do it in this case, because I'm not able to factorize it, yep, use quadratic formula. If you want to know how many solutions there, go and check determinant, because you're going to use it anyway. You can check that bigger than 0, so you know that's 2 solutions. And then you use the quadratic formula, get 2 solutions here, yeah. And then you can draw that roughly here. 2. All you need to do to get turning point, you can get actually x part, but when you get the average of them, because that middle point, that point is middle between 2 points. Okay, so you can get axis of symmetry out of it, and x of turning point. And then when you get that, all you need to do, plug that into your original equation to get y. Then you will get turning points out of it, turning points. Sounds okay? Yeah, you can practice a bit more questions. There are more questions there. Okay, thank you guys.